welcome, little savages, to week 2 in our journey through data analytics. This week, we're going to get more involved with JASP. Basically, we're going to wrap up descriptives for continuous and uh, categorical. We'll talk a little bit about what normal distribution is, probably cover empirical rule just a little bit. See why we need those descriptives, and then we'll get into some data wrangling or data cleaning at least. We go through, and once you see them, how to deal with some missing variables, how to deal with, how to identify and deal with outliers. So, and other than that, we've got a couple of different discussion questions. One, your general discussion topic this week is going to be some library research, but don't worry, it won't take but just a minute to do. You won't be allowed to do any peer reviewed, just a few questions answered. Main thing, I want you using the database so we don't lose it. And it's about descriptive statistics. So give you a good feel of what some of these things look like. When companies use them and put them out there in reports. The current topic is actually kind of interesting. It's one of two, couple of series, a couple of short videos on ways you can use data to manipulate opinion, and then the second one is titled How to Outright Lie with Statistics. Both of the same guy. They've been around for a while, nothing new, but some of you may have seen it. This week's kind of fits with the cognitive bias and sampling bias, narrative. Next week will fit a little bit better with probabilities and some Bayesian statistics. I want to cover that a little bit. So this week, we'll roll through and cover all this, at least the descriptives that we're going to use in this course. Not every possible descriptive, but we'll go back over frequency, just frequency tables, frequency distributions really quickly. We'll go over measures of center, measures of dispersion. Probably won't do much with location. We're not going to do any percentile ranks or anything, but just I'll show you how to get quartiles and interquartile rank. But as far as sorting and counting them manually, we're not going to do that in here. So we'll stick to just what we're going to do in JASP. And then measure of association, just scatter plots and basic correlation covariance. So and in JASP, real easy. Just like with frequency last week, just click of the button and they're there. What I just need you to know is what goes in there so you'll know what you're reading and why you need it. So, and then we'll wrap up with just what that means. Measures of the book I'm using for undergrad calls it measures of specific location, just your kind of your z-score, your empirical rule, how we use it to estimate where any one observation falls in the overall sample or population. So, and then next week we'll really get into some wrapping up data scrubbing and how to present data. Your statistics, we'll probably start getting into kind of how to write them up, and then I'll cover some basic probabilities. So next week we'll be done with the first part, the descriptive statistics. So that'll be our diagnostic analytics, if you want to call it that. And then that'll put us in position to move forward to the second half with inferential, with our t-test, hypothesis test. Then that'd be week 4. Week 5 would be comparing multiple means with ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, which many probably didn't do in undergrad statistics. How to check for assumptions in there, how to check for how to do post hoc tests, and how to read them, how to write them up, and then we'll move forward into multiple regression, which is the most useful tool in this course, and then wrap up with probably some non-parametrics in week 7, which you won't have assignments for. It'll just be there, in case you want to learn them. So moving forward, I'll swap over and pull up the module, and we'll do our weekly walkthrough where you'll know where your tools are, what we're going to do, and what assignments you have, how to find them. All right, so real quickly, I don't want to, well, as quickly as possible, I don't want to take up any more time than we have to. You go to the home page or go straight to modules. Open up week 2, kind of see what, but first, a couple of people have asked about the schedule. For some reason, the PDF, it didn't pick it up, but if you scroll down on the HTML page on the syllabus, there's a general idea of what we're going to do and the topics. Now, the individual assignments, like I told you last week, I'm going to look at the little poll y'all did and kind of see what y'all want to get out of it, what y'all want to do, whether y'all want to work teams or not. These are the general topics. So if you want to go through, you can go through these chapters in the book, match the chapters in the JAST handbook. You can work through all those examples ahead of time if you want to, and if you got a busy week, then you can just jump in and go straight to the assignment. Basically, every week's going to be pretty much the same. You're going to have 2 discussions. One's going to be a video. One's going to be looking something up. Do either some sort of library, either a general essay question where you have to cite peer-reviewed sources, or some little something I've got to do with statistical terms or research. So you'll have those 2 things every week. Whatever little videos are required to watch, you'll be required to watch this one. You're required to watch the current topics every week. Then you'll have a little quiz. I think next week you may have 2 quizzes. One's like the wrap up of statistics and sampling biases, and the other's confidence intervals, which are really easy. I'll give you a tool to do them with. And then 1 to 2, depending on how many topics we're doing, analytical assignments each week. So starting either end of next week or in week 4, depending on how we split up the semester project, I'll start with just basic data downloading and presenting those descriptives, cleaning. Then you move on to like data scrubbing, making sure everything's all right, correlations. Then move to the next week, run some regressions, and write them up so you can turn them in week 7. You can be completely done with that in those 3 weeks. 4, 5, and 6 doesn't take that long. So the final term project, like I said, it's going to depend on what y'all do in the course and what I think y'all have picked up enough and learned enough and handle the rest of the stuff with maturity and grace, even though sometimes I'm dragging. It'll either be a multi-part project where you have a data set, and the first part you pull descriptives, and the second part you identify data to scrub or replace, and then you pull descriptives after you do that and write them up. Then move forward and run your main hypothesis test and write it up. And then the next step, you'll Maybe one for qualitative and one for quantitative, and then the last step will just be writing up, what you think about it. So we can either do that, but it'll be one data set. You'll just be going through and doing every step, multiple parts, or either that, or another way I could do that is just 4 mini case studies. One would be like a t-test, and one an ANOVA, and one, a regression, and you'll have to determine from the data which test to use and why, and write it up. Do all those in a few hours. Or if I think y'all have already got as much as you need to get out of it, I got a cool little fun assignment where you'll go grab some data for me and tell me what you think about it. And you can do that. And then, you could easily do that whole thing in an hour. Um, so that's going to kind of depend on y'all. So that can change these non-parametric topics. Like I said earlier, we'll wrap up descriptives and data scrubbing, and I'll go over your basic probabilities and z-scores and some Bayesian probabilities. And starting week 4, that's when so next week will be diagnostic, and then we'll start into inferential. So we'll have hypothesis testing, t-test, paired t's. Then week 5, we'll go from comparing two things to comparing more than two things. That's where we'll have one-way and two-way ANOVA. Repeated measures with one way, probably not with two. Week 6, correlation regression, multiple regression, most useful topic in this course. Week 7, non-parametric. I'll go over them just so you'll have them for those of you who need them, but you won't have any assignments on those. It'll just be you watch it if you want to. Your assignments will be whichever project you do throughout the term, and then your final project at the end, which kind of up to y'all what y'all want to do with both of them. So that's the schedule. At most, I'd say at most, even the worst weeks, plan to spend twice as much time as you did last week if you're really staying caught up. So not planning to kill you. So let's circle back to week 2 and kind of go through what we have here, a walkthrough. So we got an introduction. We'll go through that. This video will go right below it, so you can click there and watch it, and then open the introduction however you want to do it. But you'll be required to watch this video before we can move forward for the rest. Maybe below that, your discussion topics. Your library research, I'll show you how to do that in a minute. This is the video for your current topic right below it. So you'll have to click this, watch it. Since it didn't work well and held people up last week, I'm just trying to put it where it works. Watch it, click that you watch it before you can move forward, and then answer these. I think you can actually get in there if you want to print the questions and make notes of where it shows up, or pause it and write them down as you're watching. I don't care. Only thing I want it to be your personal opinion, your words, thoughts, concerns. Just make me believe you watched it. That's pretty much the litmus test for getting full credit there. That and responding to your friends. So go through that really quickly. Then you scroll down. That's where you're going to get, I've got these two with the Excel shorts of how to do every descriptive and every chart and every graph Excel does in those two videos. And they have chapters. So if you can't get to them from there, you can go straight to my YouTube site if you'd rather do that. You skip to them, skip to whatever you need at the time. You just go to my page, subscribe to it, and then you can find the stuff easier. You will have to watch these in YouTube to get through there, though. I say that because a lot of people filled out last week's and not many people watched it. I'm still trying to figure out how that works. Um, all I ask is an honest attempt to learn something from these sign books. Then we got get through there. I got to your book chapters 3, 4, and 5. 3 and 4 as your descriptors. That's when I got these immediately below it. 5 charts. Should go back up graphically, but it's graphics in JAS, so there'll be another video to show you that. Um, then that's your theory quiz. Click on that, and I'll show you just kind of easy stuff. What's in here? You've got 2 attempts, so if you blow the first one, you can go through and take it again, but the answers won't be released until after the grace period. So look at question 1 here. In order to summarize qualitative data, a useful tool is, well, it's going to be categorical, so frequencies. Stem and leaf, they're not good. Histogram, you have to create the frequency table before you can do the histogram. So, or if you got discrete, it's better for discretes. So frequency, and to answer that one, like this one, proportion. So if we got proportion, you know we're looking for relative frequency. So you can copy this and just kind of, I've already got something made up here, but I'll show you how I did it. Paste all those. Click that to open it. So now we got 3. We had above average, average, below average. You don't need all of these to answer. But I'll show you quickly how to do it. Frequency, relative frequency, cumulative frequency, not cumulative, percent. Let's see, percent frequency. Then we got cumulative frequency, cumulative relative frequency, and cumulative percent frequency. All of those are pretty easy to do, really. So keep that back out. Let's see what I'm doing. Then we can put us a total down here. So how we get the frequency of above average? Equals count if all this mess equals this, but I think it's going to make me, I think it's not going to like that. False. That's my range. Oh, equals count if, in parentheses, all of this. I put a comma there, then separate. And parentheses equals this. Not parentheses, quotation marks. See if it's giving me, it's not counting it. You can F4 that to save time. Hopefully. I have to do it inside there. Yeah, not counting it. Invalid. It's not liking that. Probably just have to type it out. Equals, but there we go, 3. So that's good. We'll come back here, make it easier. F4 it. Okay, then we can drag these down and just change this to average. Change this one to below average. There we go. Equal sum. There we go. And then our relative frequency, relative to what? The total. So equals that over that. And then we'll F4 this. Function F4. That way we can drag. Go ahead and format that to, let's put 3 decimal places there. Drag this over, it should be a 1. It is. Okay, now percent frequencies. You can do that. You can multiply it by 100 and add a sign, or you can just do equal neighbor. Drag this down and go up here and just click the percent sign and format it, and then click these over 3 times. Now that's the percent. So this should say 100. It says 1, okay, because I didn't click the percent down there. So that's good. Cumulative frequency equals, first one always equals same row, second one equals the one directly above it, plus the one on the same row. And you can drag this down. Sum of that. Sum of the bottom one should always be equal to the sum, and it is. So you can do the same thing over here, or you can divide it out, but it's easier just to add the one above it. Shift plus that. And do that. So that's 1. That's what it's supposed to be. And you can do the same thing, adding, its predecessor to its buddy, or you can be lazy like I do and just click this in here, format it to percentage, and then put however many decimals you want. So that's how that's done for cumulative, just adding. So since these are ordinal, it makes sense. It's a useful tool. So all we needed for that question was the proportion of average. So that's 33. So you click that and move on. So okay, so that's how you do that. So that's the type of questions you'll have. Then our analytical assignment, I'll go over that, and then we'll go back, circle back to discussion, what I want from those and how to do them. So, analytical assignment, give one chance, but I'll let you correct them next week if you need to. Um, and I'll send out from last week. Anybody needs to correct week ones, I'll send those out in the middle of the week and tell you when I want them done by. So here's your likability quiz. That's Statistics of Doom. That's a YouTube site. Another psychology. She's got some useful stuff on there. Really good lecture sometimes. Sometimes she gets pretty far off of what we do in business. And then some of her stuff is just directed straight for doctoral students, which won't affect you. But she does have some good stuff on there if you need some help with JASP or R or Python. She's got several things. That's describing your variables. Then it's got directions. So for accuracy, you're going to look through there for missing data and outliers. First thing you're going to do is look for things that are obviously correct. Well, how do you know if they're obviously? Well, you look through here. If you got a 9-point Likert scale and you got a couple of entries that say 11, well, you don't know if they meant one or if it's just wrong. So you have to delete that cell and change it to empty or something. They're not available. I think that's what I told you to do since we're using mean replacement. Or if you got something that's supposed to be 0 to 20 and the answer is like 40 or 200 or something, if it's outside of the possible range or if it's just so far off of the norm, you'll want to take care of those first. Then you'll go through and look for your missing, not available. Make a say, why is it missing? Is it something where they just not wanting to answer that question? That could be a response bias or a missing bias. Is it missing completely at random? They just skipped it. Missing at random. Missing not at random is the ones you kind of worry about because why are they holding back? Is it indicative of something they don't want you to know? Uh, I think I told you to treat them all as good, missing random. Scroll down, and you're gonna change everything that's missing to the mean by creating new variables. I'll show you how to do that in the lecture. So that's mean replacement as opposed to listwise deletion or pairwise deletion. We'll do mean replacement. Um, Then we're going to identify outliers by creating a standardized score for every. So we're going to do z-scores, create new variables with z-scores, and you're going to purge anything that's outside of 99% range. Then once you get all that done, you'll create new descriptives with your. Then the biggest thing here is making sure you're picking the right group in your descriptives because you're going to run descriptives for the original, descriptives for the standardized, and descriptive for the final with mean replacement. And then make sure because it's very easy to drag the wrong thing into something you're doing and mess up your results. So if you make an honest mistake, like I said, I'll let you correct it. It's just time consuming to have to do it. So these are all the descriptors I want for each step of the way. And you're going to run them and then give the exact numbers there that it's asked for. Just the numbers, no explanations, no percents, no, just exactly what it's asked for. Then you're going to export that to PDF, upload it here. Then you're going to come down here. This is a pretty cool little assignment. If you follow all this and do your descriptives and what it wants, and then format it the way it wants, and then do exactly the what's it called, your measures of association, correlation, and things exactly the way it's listed here. It'll give you a pretty cool little picture. So you do that, and then answer the question about picture, and then upload the results, export to PDF, and upload theirs, and then submit. So that's how to do that. So quickly, we will go back to so module 2, and I'll show you how to get to those discussions. And what you so that's 3. Let me shut those for. So yeah, we'll go back to those in just a minute. So let's go here back to our discussion topics. Said this is a library research, a general, and then you've got the video you have to watch, and then just answer questions about it. So let's start with the library. I just want to show y'all how to do it, how to get this stuff. Get this little thing out of the way. So here, if you look through here, data visualization, it shows all the stuff and Statista and how to get there, exact how to get there, but it's easy for me just to show you right out, and then you answer these questions. So for this assignment, finish it this week and respond to 2 other people. Report itself satisfies the reference requirements. You don't need peer reviews. You don't need, if you want to add stuff, fine, but if you just cite the actual report that you use, that's fine with me. I just want you to have to look at the way these reports look, how they look for different companies, where to find them, how they can use a lot of these descriptors to tell a story, and to know that this resource is here, so you may use that in other classes. And 2, to give it use, I always use it for this class, because if 100 people downloading something from it every 7 weeks, they keep it in the library. We don't lose the resource, because it's very expensive. So if it doesn't get used, it gets taken away from us. So the only thing it says is, when I show y'all how to find these, I don't want every one of y'all pulling the first one that pops up. Y'all all had different majors. Y'all live in different locations, different career paths. There should be a broad range of companies and industries covered here, and I want your thoughts and opinions on there. So how do you get to this? Come over here to library on the side. You can right click and open her up, and that way you can go back and forth to the questions if you want, however you want to do it. So we're going to scroll down to where it says databases. Then you're going to have to scroll down, because when you click databases, it takes you to electronic resources for some reason. You're going to have to scroll down to databases again. So scroll on down to where it says, if you don't know what, there's EBSCO, but Business Source Complete right there. Good place to find peer-reviewed journal articles. Just let me get off topic for just a minute. You may have to click directly on that note. So whatever you're looking for, fast food management. I'll just then click peer reviewed, full text. It'll pull up what we got. Sometimes you don't even have to click that full text. You tell it how many years, whatever. Publication type, academic journal, case study, database, whatever. You can narrow stuff down if you want to. Now, it should only pull up peer-reviewed journals since it's in Business Source Complete. So I didn't click full force, but you can click interlibrary loan. And it's all your stuff's already populated. You just put your name, your ID, um, and the date you need it, and they'll email it to you when it comes in. I got a couple I need to pick up now. But if we have it, another way to find that, if we don't have it, sometimes you can find it. Just copy that and go to Google Scholar. I know I'm off topic, but this is something that y'all just have never been told, a lot of y'all. So if you go to Google Scholar, not Google, Google Scholar. Google Scholar gives you peer-reviewed quality, well, let's say quality, but at least peer-reviewed. And if you type in the exact paper name, exactly that as it's listed, if it's got a colon, you put the colon, and it's got to be word for word, it will give you, see, here's a PDF that we have somewhere in Science Direct, but not EBSCO. So you can click on that and get the PDF. Another thing that's really cool here, especially if you have uh, one of the like Zotero, like I do, where it links, click on the site down here and look, APA format citation right there. For the purpose of these discussions, you can just click that and enter it, and then go back up to in your article and put first author et al. 24 in the side, and in the body of your. Not for this one because you don't have to have them. I'm just showing you that's an easy way. I use Zotero, and it's got a linking thing, so you can click on that. If I click EndNote, as long as I'm logged in, it will see sends that to Zotero. Then as I'm writing, I just look up that particular paper, click it, and it'll do all my citations, all my bibliography, everything for me. Now, some of these, will be wrong from time to time, but you'll notice those, and the rest of them will be close enough that I'm never going to check them. So that's just a way to do that and help. If y'all want me to, some bunch of people asked if y'all are actually paying attention to this. I will put up a video of how to use Zotero as writing because it's very easy. You can switch back and forth from Chicago to Harvard to APA, or it's got specific journals. Some of them are already in there. So if I'm wanting to send something to Journal of Business Statistics, okay, got rejected there. Most stuff I send there does. I want to change it to Journal of Transportation. I just go in there, change it to the little macro that's already in there, and it'll automatically change everything from the top of the paper all the way down. If you kind of cut and pasting as you write, I think this goes better up there. You cut and paste the whole thing up there. Okay, now you put it to where it's the first instead of the third time you've used that journal. It'll change that to the full, and the ones below it to et al. Or ibid, whichever style you're using. So very cool. If y'all want me to create a video and put it up, I will. Right now, let's just get through this. So let's go to the other thing about Google Scholar. It will give you the most cited papers at the top, so those seminal papers are been around forever, and then you can also scroll down and find the new up and comers and kind of weed out the crappy ones. So this is aggravating. There's no way to get rid of this cookie deal. Every page you click on, it comes right up. So if you go here, you can kind of scroll down, look around, and see what's on here. There's a lot of useful stuff on here. All these services, in the video I made earlier and deleted because it was too long, I noticed that all this stuff, these are pay services like research. If you got a research project, not a paper, but like a corporate project, or you want them to collect data for you where you can use it, they'll give you like a quote, but it's like here 15,000 pounds, 10,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds, which is going to be what, more than 5,000? I mean, probably $6,000 or $7,000 after Trump's tanked to a dollar. Um, Daily data, they may have something, and everywhere you click this is just aggravating. But see, here's some good stuff y'all could pull, reports, pictures. So you might can use this in a different class, because if you got a report to write, I'll just tell you a secret: a well placed and properly cited graph, picture, data, especially if it's numerical, and you'll find that out with your current topic, just how effective it is this week. It can turn a B or C paper into an A plus in a heartbeat if it's done correctly and the data is actually good. Research AI, that's, I thought it was on AI companies, but it's like kind of to help you just some more research focused. More research focused chatbot. So it should be a little bit better since it's specifically focused on that. You got to pay for it. Doesn't come with our subscription. Okay. Y'all probably won't be using that. You might can get some. Oh, okay. These are just using their sources, so that peer review. Yeah, it might help you find some pictures and stuff if you're looking for a specific industry for a report outside of this course. Market insights. So that's like general overall sectors. If you want to kind of look and see what's going on, it's there. And this is very expensive data, so use it. If you just want consumer staples, so if y'all pick a specific industry if you want to, because all you're going to do is tell me the story they're telling in the data with those 5 questions. Um, oh, when you click on, forgot to tell you, when you're in here, some people get locked out or had trouble getting in there. You're going to have to right click this. If you just click go, it doesn't always work. But if you right click it, open it in a new window or a new tab, then it's going to pull up this thing. Since I was already in here, it's going to tell you to sign in with account or create account. Or if you look at the top, it's going to say sign in with SSO. Click that one. You click sign in with SSO, then you're going to log in using your Southeastern email and password. Then you're using the library's license. So you already have what we paid for. Because not, you don't want to pay for these reports, I promise you. I'll show you in a minute. So these are just some data. So I think before we go, if you just want to get started and don't want to, look around and you just want to go to something, you type in any company. Like let's go to McDonald's. It's going to give you the yearly, and this is an editorial pick. Go to report. Click on report, and you can see that like I said, that is aggravating. Normally it would be $500, but we have that 20 sign in with single sign on. And here's some of the other stuff. So then you click download and pick whichever one you want. Or did I already have? Well, it doesn't give you a choice on this one, but sometimes you have a choice between PDF or PowerPoint, and it doesn't matter to me. Oh, this is delivery service in China. Well, that's interesting. Okay, well, that's a little different because a lot of these are just kind of the same format over and over and over. Okay, go back, or you can just kind of go backwards, whatever. Um, see if it's got just a regular. Pulled up while ago. Oh, this is yeah, that's restaurant delivery. That's the industry. Mac delivery. Dial down to Mac delivery. If you just want McDonald's, again, $500 there. Now you click on this. That's where it is. So it'll give you a choice between PowerPoint or PDF. I do not care whichever one's hit suits you. You click on it. Here we go. And you're going to get a report that looks like this. That's what I want you looking at. You're just going to go through here and see what story they're telling with this and answer those questions. They're pretty straightforward. The only thing is, y'all are all in different industries, different locations, different career paths. I don't want to see the same thing 50 times. Choose something that's meaningful to you, that you can get something out of. Other than that, just don't let us lose our database. So if you just go straight to the front and click on whatever you want to look at. So pharmaceuticals, let's go with Eli Lilly. Let me spell it. Probably ELI. Yeah. So click on Eli Lilly. We'll see what that says. Again, a bunch of stuff here. Report. Click on that one. It says included. Okay. Well, it wasn't included a while ago. It wouldn't give it to me a while ago. It said it was for pay only. Okay. So you can, like I said, you can choose a PowerPoint or you can get all the PowerPoints into a PDF. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. On the video I just deleted, it wouldn't give me all this. It's going to make me pay for it because it was an editor's choice. Good figure. Look at some of the competitors here. It's their main nemesis right now, Novartis. See what that says. Okay, editorial pick. Yeah. Oh, that's the facts and figures. Okay. I wanted the report. Here we go. That's it. Yeah, it's a top seller. So when you click on it, oh, it is giving it to me. Okay. Maybe I just wasn't holding my mouth right. Okay, so if y'all want to download too and make a comparison of the fat medicine companies, it doesn't matter to me. But you can see there's a lot of useful information here. You could probably use it in different companies, just knowing it's there. Different reports, whatever, for the rest. You write a lot of papers and get an MBA or an MA. So just showing y'all what's out there. What else we got? Maybe I don't want to keep y'all too long. NVIDIA. Let's see if we got NVIDIA. I was trying to pick those specifically because it wouldn't give them to me last time. But you want to click on, you want the report, not just, one page because you'll have questions answered. Okay, it's giving me everything now. There may be some where it says They won't give them to you because it's pay only. If you get a 404 error, that's probably what happened. So yeah, that's how you do it. Just download it, capture it, and upload it. Go ahead and upload the attach the report to it and cite it so everybody else can see it, and then answer those questions. That's You can knock that out in no time, really. Um, so y'all know how to do that. And then last thing, your video. Your video is here, and the actual discussion is here. So you click on this, and it's going to pull up one of these, and you're going to have to watch it. Like I said, to get all the way to this question, and it's just going to ask if you watched the video. Uh, Again, the reason I did that is because I had 50 people answered last week's video question and 22 views. Said all I've ever asked for, and you may have went to straight to my YouTube site. I'm not saying you didn't, but I gotta know. So then you come in here. It's gonna say watch the video above by August 31st, and you're gonna answer these questions. So, like I said, you're more than welcome to copy and paste those questions into a Word document. As you're watching it, you can type them up, and then you can copy and paste your answers back here. I don't care. I just want you to actually make an honest attempt to answer the questions in your own words. So that said, we're about done with the walkthrough. You know what we got. All our stuff that you need right here. What we're going to cover. Weekly learning objectives. Guess I forgot to go over that. CSV files. That's the examples from the Goss Sampson book. I'll cover these in a video right out of the book. That's from 243 of that book. These are the same ones you had last week. If you want to work through those, because really 3, 4, and 5 is where you'll really work through them and get something out of it. Again, a couple of PowerPoint. I've given up on trying to get these things, just flat giving up. Your data scrubbing PowerPoints. Those are one of this from Statistics of Doom. I can't remember where this is. It's not. It can be helpful if you're kind of looking, trying to put some of those concepts together. Not required to download them or even look at them. They're just there to help. These are those statistical formula sheets. So if you want to do the math by hand, there's the formulas. If you want to do them in Excel, there's how to do them. Or you can watch those 2 videos I showed you earlier. These are your books. That's the full book for the step-by-step. Again, pages 2 through 43. Everything we want to do and how to write it up. You can go over 1 and 2 again if you need to. 3, 4, and 5 is mainly where your descriptives and data scrubbing is going to be. So graded assignments in addition to these, your discussion topic, your current topic, and that's every week deal. Your chapter quiz and your analytics exercise, all by due on Sunday, but you'll have an extra day to do them if you're running behind. No questions asked. 24-hour grace period, weeks 1 through 6. And by Wednesday or Thursday, I will have returned your week 1. And if you need to redo them or want to redo them for a better grade, after I've corrected them, I will give you a due date for when to have that due, probably at the end of week 3. So that's your grade. Then you'll have to click through the little videos like I showed you. And that's pretty much it for this week. So introduction video, everywhere to find stuff, and then your discussion topics, where to find all that. You don't have to go through them in order, but you will have to complete them all and watch this video. Book chapters, help quizzes, help videos, then the quiz. Lecture video, once I insert that, CSV files will go along with it. Same ones that are in that introduction page. Then your analytical assignment and wrap up, like I said, is just a couple of things that said you made it, real pep talk. So that's it. Hope this gets you started, and let me know if you need anything.